In every modern conflict, there is a battlefield you cannot see. It has no trenches, no mountains, and no cities, yet controlling it is fundamental to victory. This is the electromagnetic spectrum, and the fight to dominate it is called electronic warfare. It's a high-stakes, invisible struggle. Radio waves and directed energy are the weapons. The goal is to blind, deafen, and deceive an enemy while ensuring your own forces can operate freely. At its core, electronic warfare, or EW, is a sophisticated contest of control. It is fought across the entire spectrum, from radio communications and radar to infrared and electro-optical signals. Military planners now see this electromagnetic environment as a distinct domain of warfare, just like land, sea, air, and space. The strategy is divided into three critical parts: attacking the enemy's capabilities, protecting your own, and listening in to gain an edge. The first pillar is electronic attack, or EA. This is the offensive side of EW. Its most common form is jamming, overwhelming an adversary's communications or radar systems with a powerful blast of electromagnetic energy, rendering them useless. But it's more than just noise. EA also involves anti-radiation weapons, which are missiles that home in on an enemy's radar signal, following the beam directly back to the source to destroy it. A prime example of a modern EA system is Russia's Krasukha Kryasooka. This is a mobile, ground-based platform designed specifically to jam the powerful airborne radars used by AWACS surveillance planes and radar-guided missiles. By disrupting these critical systems, the Krasukha can effectively create a protective bubble, blinding enemy aircraft and incoming munitions before they can find their targets. But what happens when you're on the receiving end of an attack? That's where the second pillar, electronic protection, or EP, comes in. This is about defense, the countermeasures used to survive in a hostile electromagnetic environment. The goal of EP is simple: to ensure that an enemy's electronic attack fails. We see EP in action when a fighter jet targeted by a heat-seeking missile releases a burst of brilliant flares. The missile's infrared seeker, designed to lock onto the jet's engine heat, gets distracted by the hotter flares and misses its mark. Other EP measures include deploying chaff. Chaff is strips of aluminum that create a false cloud on radar screens, or employing stealth technology to create a low observable profile, making a craft difficult to detect in the first place. The third and final pillar is electronic warfare support, or ES. Before you can attack or defend, you must listen. ES is the intelligence-gathering arm of EW. It involves detecting, intercepting, and locating an enemy's electromagnetic signals. This provides commanders with a real-time map of the battlefield, identifying threats, tracking their locations, and prioritizing targets. It's a discipline that overlaps heavily with signals intelligence, or SIGINT, but ES is focused on immediate tactical information for the commanders on the ground. This invisible conflict is not a new phenomenon. One of the earliest documented uses was during the Boer War, when the British used searchlights to flash Morse code off the clouds, and the Boers tried to jam the signals with their own searchlights. A few years later, during the Russo-Japanese War, a Russian captain requested permission to jam Japanese radio signals that were reporting his fleet's position. His request was denied. The intelligence the Japanese gathered led to a decisive naval victory, a stark lesson in the cost of ignoring electronic warfare. The practice truly came of age during World War II, in what Winston Churchill called the Battle of the Beams. As German bombers used radio navigation beams to guide them to targets in Britain, the Allies developed sophisticated techniques to interfere with and bend those beams, leading the bombers astray. It was also during this war that chaff was first used to confuse and defeat German radar systems, marking a major leap in electronic protection. A more recent and dramatic example of EWS power was Israel's 2007 raid on a suspected Syrian nuclear site, known as Operation Orchard. Israeli jets reportedly used advanced electronic warfare systems to completely deactivate Syria's air defense network. They flew across the country, bombed their target, and returned without being effectively challenged. This demonstrated that total control of the electromagnetic spectrum can make even the most formidable defenses irrelevant. Today, the war in Ukraine serves as the most intense proving ground for modern electronic warfare. In the opening days of the invasion, Russian EW systems severely disrupted Ukrainian air defense radars and communications. After a brief scale-back, Russian forces deployed a dense network of jamming equipment, with reports of up to 10 EW complexes per 13 miles of frontage in the Donbas region. The impact on Ukraine's drone fleet has been profound. Small quadcopters, vital for reconnaissance and artillery spotting, were reported to have a life expectancy of just 3 flights. Larger, more advanced drones fared only slightly better. According to a report from the Royal United Services Institute, at one point Ukraine was losing as many as 10,000 drones a month, a staggering number attributed largely to the effectiveness of Russian jamming. This electronic assault isn't just affecting drones. Russian EW is also credited with reducing the accuracy of advanced Western munitions like GPS-guided HIMARS rockets and JDAM bombs. By jamming or spoofing GPS signals, Russian systems can force these weapons to rely on their less accurate inertial navigation, degrading their precision from a few meters to dozens. In response, Ukrainian forces have prioritized hunting and destroying Russian EW assets like the high-value Palantin Parlayentine system in a constant cat-and-mouse game. Looking ahead, the next evolution is already here: cognitive electronic warfare, or CEW. By integrating artificial intelligence, these new systems can analyze the battlefield in real time, identify new and unknown enemy signals, and automatically generate the most effective jamming or protection techniques. Projects from research agencies like DARPA are pushing this technology forward, creating systems that don't just follow orders, but learn and adapt on their own, promising to make the invisible battlefield more complex and decisive than ever before.